And it was so hard because I was making 80 cachitos. And at the moment, 80 cachitos, it could take me 2 hours to make.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, yeah, ready. It's 11 p.m. Let's just go back tomorrow and open at 5 in the morning. My dad was coming early to help me out in the process so I can sleep a little bit more. And when I was reaching out to the bakery around like 9 a.m., we didn't have cachitos.
Wow.
And I was like, "Damn, all that work, going home like at midnight, and it's 9 a.m. and I don't even have cachitos." So I was like, you know what? We have a product here that we have to explore and we have to probably make it a little bit bigger. So we start making more cachitos during the whole day. So next day we can have 100, we can have 200 cachitos. And I teach my mom how to make cachitos. I was like, Dad, you're too picky. This is too handling. Let me just get my mom to help me out with the cachitos. You help me out with the lamination dough and I do all the bread. So that's actually how we share the work. So working with family is very hard. It's not easy, but we segment every area for each of us so we don't have to get involved.
Nice.
So he's not my dad at work. He's not my mom at work. Everyone have their own task. And my mom became a master making cachitos.
Wow.
She was making 80 cachitos in half an hour.
Have you decided what you're going to get?
Oh, yeah, definitely we're going to get one of each.
One of each. Got it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of One of Each. Thanks for being here with us. Remember, you can follow us on all platforms. We are on, of course, on Instagram with some cool short videos. We are on Spotify, Patreon, Apple, and some other platforms that I'm not very aware of, but I know we're there. Today, I have with me Jesús Brazón. Jesus is not only a good friend, but he's the responsible of my gluten spikes and the reason I need to probably sometimes run an extra mile or something because I'm addicted to everything that's available at Caracas Bakery. So, Jesus, it's a pleasure to have you here at One of Each.
Well, thank you for having me. I've been seeing your podcast for a while and I was like, okay, eventually I'm going to be there.
Yeah,
and
of
now
course.
today's the day.
No, amazing. It's an honor to have you. And especially because, I mean, we know each other for some years. I still remember once I went to the Doral shop and I introduced myself and
Yeah, I remember.
we started talking about you opening a new location and seeing you grow from that location, which was already successful with the Venezuelan community and the Doral community, and then you'll tell that story better than me. But seeing you where Caracas Bakery is today and the potential that it has, it's super. It's an honor and I feel proud because it's like a real Venezuelan concept. You're bringing the Venezuelan or the Caracas bakery to new markets, and I think that's something that I'm sure people not only follow you or go to your bakery, but even people who've never been to Caracas Bakery or to Miami for that matter, they also have that sense of pride, no?
It happens sometimes when people we're talking about anything in a random group of friends and they mention Caracas Bakery for some reason. There's always in the group, like it doesn't even have to be Venezuelan to know, like, oh, I know Caracas Bakery.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, okay, yeah, that's me. Hi, guys. And it's kind of cool, like, it's being expanding the brand in a way that a lot of people are just getting to know more and more and more the place without any, like, help. I'm trying to do everything organic. I just want, like, people to come, people to appreciate the product, and then they will just repeat it. That's
Exactly.
my whole concept behind it.
Amazing.
I think that's the best way because at the end of the day, you have those people that comes every time. And instead of pushing it that hard just for people to at least come once, I'd rather just make people to come, try the product. If they like it, they will just come back.
And they'll spread the word also.
They spread the word.
Yes. I mean, we'll talk about how it started and how it's so popular, but just a personal story. I own, of course, a Caracas Bakery T-shirt, and I spent some time in London, so I ended up like leaving some clothes there and everything, and I left the Caracas Bakery T-shirt in London because every time I would wear it here in Miami or every other time, people would be like, "Oh, I love your cachitos," or "Do you work there? Like, do you deliver to?" Like, they would start asking me questions like if I work there, and that's how how powerful the brand has become.
It's been powerful, and sometimes when I see people, a lot of them, I give away the stickers on the bakery, and some of them, because of the sizing, they put on their phones or in the cases. So sometimes I'm in a restaurant or in a bar and I see phones and I was like, oh, fuck, that's my sticker. That's my
Nice.
sticker.
That's super
and
cool.
it feels actually very nice. Very
Amazing,
useful.
amazing. But let's go back to how everything started. I understand your father was a baker. I don't know if he was a baker in Venezuela or he started baking here. What was the seed of Caracas Bakery?
So I think this is the first time that I explain my story. And
Thanks for giving us the exclusivity.
And
no?
it's kind of crazy because I'm going to do it in English. Normally, I will do it to my friends in private in Spanish, but this is the first time for everyone to at least to know how everything happened. My dad, he retired from his normal job in Venezuela after like 20 years. He was always connected to the food. He was always connected to baking at home. I was doing the same. I was making my own vanilla cake at home. And we always were connected through food, like in my house. It was like it was just my mom, my dad, and I. So we kind of like have a menu during the day. Like, hey, what are we eating tonight? Are we making chicken? How can we make the chicken? So we always had that little element at home. And after my dad retired, he wanted to become a full-time, like a baker.
But he wasn't in the food industry before.
He was in the food industry. He was in the security business. And then my dad, when he retired, he had so much free time that he started applying for a school to become a pastry chef. He did it. He became a pastry chef. He became a very good one. And he never wanted to work in a bakery in Venezuela. He didn't want to become a restaurant owner. He just wanted to do it because he wanted to have he had the passion and he just wanted to learn how things are made.
Nice.
Pretty much like what I have for my own things as well. So he was just trying to, okay, I know how to make bread, but I want to know the technique of how to make it in the right way. So after my dad did it, he didn't want to work for anyone. And the school asked him to become a teacher at the school.
Nice.
My dad was already like, I don't know, like 50-something. And he said, you know what? I would do it. And he became a teacher and a consultant. And he was doing it there until he decided to move to the U.S.
What year was that?
20. Well, they moved to Miami in 2015.
Okay.
So that might start happening like 2010.
Okay.
And then in 2015, I introduced him to Miami to... Okay,
You were already in the U.S.?
I was already in the U.S.,
Okay.
yeah. I came to the U.S. in 2009, I think it was.
Okay.
And I was in New York until like 2012.
Okay.
And then I came to Miami. And I introduced my dad to Zach the Baker. My dad have a picture who started the baking in 2014 when they just started. I was working from the lab, which is the co-working studio in front.
That was my first office.
That was my first office here. So that's why it was so easy for me to see the whole evolving of Zach the Baker. And I was just introducing my dad. My dad was like, Jesus, this is amazing. Like, this is a cool bakery. This is probably the only bakery that I've seen in Miami in this way. There's no bakeries like that in Venezuela. Yes. So we were coming to this new era of sourdough again. And my dad got just in love with it again. And he wanted to work for him. It took like 2 years for him to be able to work for Zach the Baker.
Wow.
He had the barrier of the language, like probably as I have as well. And until they couldn't find someone that have on the shift that speak Spanish, they couldn't give him the opportunity to him.
Okay.
So after that happened with Ruben, thanks to Ruben, he was able to work for them.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then he mastered he learned new things.
He was never into sourdough. He was never into bread. It was more like a lamination dough.
Okay.
Everything like a pastry related. No bread. Like I've been the one obsessed with bread, and I can tell you my story now. But I've been always the bread guy. My dad's been always like the pastry guy.
And what was the tipping point where he said, or you as a family said, okay, let's have our own thing?
So I've been working as a graphic designer for a while in Miami, working for agencies, and I had the chance to connect to a lot of restaurants because of that. Like a lot of my clients, they were Jamie De Rosa was one of them, Gabriel from Bar Lab, and I get to know a lot of people from the industry without having to be in the industry itself. Like I wasn't within the industry, I was just doing something different for them. But I get the chance to get to know a lot of them and work side to side, seeing the events that they were doing. And I've been always obsessed with food. And I don't know why I never went to a culinary school. Every time that I was trying to go to a culinary school, something happened.
Okay.
A big opportunity on something else. So I never reached out to that point. And in 2014, I went to New York to spend my birthday with my friends. And I went to this bakery in Chelsea Market. And it was very tiny at the moment. And you see the whole production, how they made the bread, hopefully you can, in the video, you can probably swipe a few pictures that I'm going to send you after.
Okay.
And I will share it to you. And it was a tiny bakery, but you can see the whole production.
Okay.
At that moment, the baker wasn't open in Miami yet.
He was
And
still selling
he was
from
still from
the-
Bikers from
Exactly.
Bikers farms.
Yeah.
And he was asking for, I don't know, he was doing a fund for opening Wingway at the moment. And man, I just got upset with bread. Like I just went there, I was super hangover. And I stayed for like 45 minutes how they were making the bread. We used to, from Caracas or from Venezuela, you have a little ventanita and the bread comes out there and then you just grab it or they just put it in the bag for you until you go. But you never see the bakery. You don't see the mixing. You don't see the hands making the bread. You never see all those details that I had the chance to see in that bakery. So I bought a book in the same Chelsea market and I just came to Miami to start making
started
bread.
baking.
Yeah.
Nice.
I started making bread from 2014 to 2018. I was making bread at home. It was awful. Like I couldn't even eat my own bread. It was very bad. Also, I can show you I can send you a few pictures so you can post it.
The first one.
I can feel embarrassed to how my bread was looking before. It wasn't edible. You couldn't eat my bread. It was so tart, so harsh, super dry, and I needed another element to actually learn about how making bread. And it wasn't just a book. It was the book. It was practicing more, and it was watching videos. When I saw the videos on YouTube, thank YouTube also that they have so many like good videos for you to learn. I saw how I was manipulating. I was handling the dough in a different way, like they were doing it on the videos. I was like, okay, probably that's my mistake. It's not giving the same pressure, the same tension. I'm not doing it here. Let me just get it looks a little more wet. So I start watching all those videos, and that helps me a lot, like even more than the book.
Wow.
The book, it helps me to have the main recipe. Okay, this is my base. And from here, whatever I want.
Wow.
So that's how I did it.
Yeah, you know, we had in a previous episode Alejandro from Miami Slice, and he said that the same to you, that he learned watching on YouTube, and like sometimes he got super geeky and he would watch like a 1 hour video, and minute 45 they will give a hint, and he was like, "That's it. That's." And he said, and
I haven't watched that one, but yes, that's pretty
it's
much what
very
happened.
And he said, like, I'm not the master of dough, I'm the master of my dough. So it's at the end of the day, you develop your own identity, your own recipe, and this is what you use as a base, no?
I see my recipe now for my sourdough, and I see the one for the book. It's completely different, but I needed to start from there
Exactly.
to start evolving. Like, okay, I need more salt, I need more water. The humidity in Miami is different than probably where the book was made. Let me just start working with that, and I ended up creating my own recipe, and that's what I was using until like 2017, which I saw my bread. Okay, this is something. Okay,
Nice.
I have something here. And at the moment I was dating a chef, and she didn't have to be nice to me about it. She was like, encouraging me, like, yeah, your bread is very good. Like, there's not that many breads in Miami in that way. You should go for something to it, to make something with this bread. And at the beginning, I wanted to rent something in Miami Shores. I saw a lot of potential in that area, and I even had the chance to get an LOI for the place and everything. And Irma happened, the hurricane Irma. A lot of law with the sewer system, grease trap, changing that moment because of that episode that it happened. So the guy was like, you know what? Take your money back, take your things. Like, you won't be able to open here. Now I need a grease trap. A lot of things happened, so I just put it on hold. But my first idea was creating a office for me for my design work.
Okay.
Making sourdough and coffee during the weekend.
Oh,
that was my project. And then I started talking to friends of mine that are a little more financial than me, and they were like, Jesus, doesn't make any sense. All the investment that you have to make for you to be able to just to sell bread during the weekends, you will never be able to make money.
Yeah.
And I started structuring my idea better. I was like, okay, I need to add more items. I need to learn a little more about this, about that. I started saving money. And in December 2018, I saw this place called Boyade that they were opening in a very cool, funky shopping center at the moment. And I was like, okay, I can probably do something similar. Let me do it in Doral. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Where you have all the
you have my community, you have everything. I was like,
sell.
okay, let me just try it out to see if it's going to work out the concept.
Okay.
So I ran in December 2018 thinking that I would be opening in 5 months without knowing anything about how the city works.
Welcome to Miami.
Yeah, that was very tough. And when I get to sit down with someone as a consultant to help me out building the place, I was having the conversation and I was such ignorant about it. I was like, why did I do this? Like, I don't even know. I don't even have all the money that I need for opening a place. I have some money saved. But after she wasn't there, you have to go through fire, plumbing, electrical, water lines, gas. And I was like, I left that dinner like not knowing who I was. I was like, why am I doing this? Like, I have no idea how to make a restaurant. I start like getting more respect for people that have restaurants at the moment because I didn't know it was so hard to open a place. And to the point that it took me around 14 months to be able to open the location.
Wow.
Paying rent every month.
So when did Caracas Bakery Doral open?
I opened soft opening January 2020, right before the pandemic. Yeah, the pandemic teach me a lot, so I can also tell you about that later.
Yeah, and also it sparked interest on people. Like people started baking at home, realized how hard it is.
True, they were calling me crazy by making sourdough. In 2016, like, why you don't go on public second bread?
Yeah.
And I was upset by making sourdough at my house every weekend. But then the pandemic happened, and everyone wanted to make sourdough at home.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, now everyone
exactly.
sees.
Now you
I'm
know
the
how
one.
hard it is.
But it happens. Like, I'm kind of glad that I opened the place through the pandemic.
Because you were functioning as like delivering, because it was a counter. It wasn't even.
It
like
was just a takeaway.
Place.
It was just a takeaway location.
So that helped.
I didn't have that many products. I cut a lot of the story about how I opened the place, but at the time, my dad was still working as the baker. He had a great insurance with them. He was a lot of benefit. So I was like, Dad, I don't mind if you stay with Zach, and I would just do my own thing by myself. I'm not trying to become rich or anything by opening this bakery. I just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least I try it out. And my dad said, no, Jesus, I don't care about my insurance. I don't care about anything. If you're opening a place, I'm going to go with you. Let's just write it together. And that's what he did. He actually wrote it with me. And then he was like, Jesus, you won't be able to have just bread. You have to have something, like a few more items. And I was like, okay, let me just start learning about how to make this, how to make Danish, how to make croissant from him, how to make pan dulce, how to make golfeado. And then,
Cachitos.
And then came out the cachito. When the cachito came out, I was like, okay, I have to make the best cachito. And I used to go to a bakery in Miami that they have cachito. And when I was craving a cachito, I was going there because it's the only one that I have that kind of flavor that I was looking for.
Which one, Moises?
No, pana.
Ah.
Pana Doral.
Okay, I used to go to Moises Bakery.
I used to go, every time that I was craving a cachito, I was going to Doral.
Okay.
And I was getting a pana because I was the cachito for me to go with café con leche. But I was like, okay, it's good, but I think I can probably replicate it in a better way for my own people. One of the things that I have behind my cachito is like all the ham is cut by hand. So I don't ground it.
Yeah,
it's just
makes
like
a difference.
You go to my commissary and the whole day I don't even listen anymore. But the whole day is tat, 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 because I have people in the back with the choppers just cutting the ham because I want to have that feeling on my cachito. I don't want to have that ground.
How many cachitos do you make a day?
Can
you share?
Probably like 1,000.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's 3
It's
locations.
a lot of ham.
It's 3 locations now.
Yeah.
And I have 2 people that just handle the ham at the place. And that's just it's the meat department. And they just handle cutting the ham all day.
Nice.
And I was trying to replicate cachito, but that brings me back to Venezuela. So I was playing with the doughs. I did like 17 times the recipes, which was okay, I'm using milk powder. Now I'm using liquid milk. Now I'm using honey. Now I'm using sugar. Now I'm using papelón. I was doing all those combinations until I was like, I tried the cachito and it took me back to Venezuela. I was like, oh, fuck. I can't say fuck, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck. This is a good cachito.
Nice.
And from there, I just started making cachitos on my own. It's kind of crazy. Like, I wish I had more documentation of all what I did.
I thought you were gonna say, I wish I had a cachito here.
Yeah, I should have bring a fruit. That's true. I forgot. We can go there now after here. Because I was opening the place. I didn't have that many employees because it was through pandemic. I actually brought my mom to work with us. So it was my dad, my mom, and another friend that she was like working as a barista. And I was opening the place, closing by 6 p.m. And at 6 p.m. I started making the cachito for the next day. So sometimes I had like a partner at the moment that reached out to Mauro, and he was doing all the cutting the ham, everything, the chopping it, everything, and where I was doing the dough, cutting it by pieces and to make the cachitos. And it was so hard because I was making 80 cachitos. And at the moment, 80 cachitos, it could take me 2 hours to make.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, yeah, ready. It's 11 p.m. Let's just go back tomorrow and open at 5 in the morning. My dad was coming early to help me out in the process so I can sleep a little bit more. And when I was reaching out to the bakery around like 9 a.m., we didn't have cachitos.
Wow.
And I was like, "Damn, all that work, going home like at midnight, and it's 9 a.m. and I don't even have cachitos." So I was like, you know what? We have a product here that we have to explore, and we have to probably make it a little bit bigger. So we start making more cachitos during the whole day. So next day we can have 100, we can have 200 cachitos. And I teach my mom how to make cachitos. I was like, Dad, you're too picky. This is too handling. Let me just get my mom to help me out with the cachitos. You help me out with the lamination dough, and I do all the bread. So that's actually how we share the work. So working with family is very hard. It's not easy, but we segment every area for each of us so we don't have to get involved.
Nice.
So he's not my dad at work. He's not my mom at work. Everyone have their own task. And my mom became a master making cachitos.
Wow.
She was making 80 cachitos in half an hour.
Wow. I remember before we met, I mean, every time I had to go to Doral or I made an excuse to go to Doral, I would go to Caracas Bakery. And there was always like a huge line. And it was amazing. It was that meeting point where you meet friends like, oh, I haven't seen you in 5 years. I didn't know you moved to Miami. And that was the line at Caracas Bakery.
I had someone a little bit famous in the food industry from Venezuela that he came to the place to try out the cachitos unannounced, and then he posted about it. And the weekend that it was coming after, it was the first weekend that I saw a line outside. I was coming out and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, why so many people waiting outside? He actually helped out a little bit more to reach out. And I think it's being a work on combination of everyone that goes to the place, that they probably found a location that have a few Venezuelan items in or my own interpretation of how they are. And it was like it was another friend. It was another friend that they were coming for their own good, that they wanted just to eat a cachito, and then they were sharing it to others. And I think that community was created by itself, which I'm kind of happy about it because it's completely organic.
Yeah.
It's been working out.
Yeah. Speaking of cachitos, you've met Ryan King.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful story with Ryan.
I know.
The first time I took him to Caracas Bakery, he became obsessed with cachitos. No, he lives now in Paris and he has access to like croissants and amazing bakeries, and he still craves like a cachito. So much that he learned how to make them, and he bought a special oven to make them. I don't know if you saw his episode.
Actually, he made a few questions to me in the past.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you saw the episode of him, but he tells in a very poetic way, he describes a cachito, and he became like a celebrity in Venezuela because there's this British guy who lives in Paris who became obsessed with cachito, and it was
they still sharing me that video to me today. They still sharing it.
Wow. And it was the spark for that was a visit to Caracas Bakery. And last time I remember he came, he took like a box of 24 cachitos, and he said he ate like half of it in the plane back there. So he's coming soon. So
we should reach out and just sit down.
Absolutely.
We should do a collaboration.
Yeah. Why not? Absolutely. Actually, he did. Talking about collaborations, I miss your mortadella cachito. I don't know if you're doing it off the menu sometimes.
I do it during the weekends.
Still
during the weekends. I'm making mortadella cachitos.
Perfect. And once I visited him, and we did a black morcilla, like a black sauce, black pudding cachito. It was insane.
It's such a cachito for us. It's just ham, you know.
Yeah.
But a cachito could be such a vehicle to do so many things for so many people.
Absolutely.
People that don't eat ham. People like they just wanna have other feeling on it. They're veggie people, like they want to have ricotta and spinach. It has so many things that you can apply to it. Eventually, I will start playing with them, but for now, I'm happy with what I have.
Okay. Now, talking about the current state of Caracas Bakery, you mentioned you had Doral, Mimo, and you opened Coral Gables recently.
Yeah, like 3 months ago.
How's each store different from the other in terms of like demographics? Like, do you sell more like Venezuelan items in Doral? Do you see any difference? Also to understand Miami as a city, no?
Um, Before I was comparing too much Biscayne to Doral. I thought they were almost the same, which they are not. But to me, it was almost the same business. After opening Coral Gables, I'm like, okay, they're all completely different. It's a different market, different taste, different. They're picky in some ways in other locations that they're not in the other ones. To me, I won't say the most difficult one. I would just say the one that has to do everything on point is Coral Gables,
Okay.
which is the newest one. And
Because like you take the learnings from the previous one into the new one.
no, it's just more about the crowd that it goes to the
Okay.
location. They want things in a certain way,
Uh-huh.
which I dig it. Like that's how they are. It's like I always put it in front of my group of friends and the work. Like the parents of the guy that comes to Biscayne, they go to the Coral Gables location.
Okay.
It's more like my dad and my mom or your
Okay.
parents. They're a little more particular how they want their things.
Yeah.
And I've been learning that they have to treat them in a different way. If you don't remember the order the next day they come, they go, yeah, why you don't remember? Like I always get a cachito and a cappuccino. Oh, I'm sorry. So they are very particular how they are. So I've been learning like every place that I open a new location, I will have a demographic completely different to the other one.
Nice. But also, how have you felt like, because you have, I mean, the good thing about Caracas Bakery is like you don't necessarily need to go and you have to try Venezuelan bakery. You can go
No.
there, have a croissant, have a ham and cheese croissant, have eggs, toast, everything. But there are some staples like the cachito, the golfeado. Now you have tequeños, the pastelito, which is like kind of a bureca, but we also grew up eating pastelitos. Is there a connection, or have you seen like a shift in your clients, like appreciating Venezuelan items? Do they understand, okay, this is like a Venezuelan inspired bakery with some items that probably we haven't tried before? Like, what's the approach of the? I'm not talking about the Venezuelan clients who go there and the connection of like nostalgia and quality and everything. They dig cachito, golfeado, but non-Venezuelan clients, what's their approach to those Venezuelan items?
Like nowadays in Miami and probably in the whole US, there's a bunch of Venezuelan here in this place. Like me, probably like you have a bunch of Venezuelan friends, but you also have a bunch of American friends,
Yes.
French people, British people. So Venezuelans, they have a lot of those probably friends that they have and they brought to the place. So a lot of them, and I give us an example, like, okay, let's go to Caracas Bakery this weekend. And probably that American guy is like, okay, probably we'll have to eat an empanada, guava and cheese, or,
Yeah.
okay, let's just ride it, let's just go. And then when they come to the place is called Caracas Bakery, so you're imagining like it's just Latin. And when they get inside, they have a babka, they have a croissant, they have a pan of chocolate, they have a sourdough.
Yeah,
and they're like,
scrambled egg toast.
yeah, and they're like, oh, I thought you were bringing me to a Venezuelan place. Even though I have like a 27 items, just 4 items are Venezuelan. All the other ones are French inspired, British inspired, German inspired. And I've been getting the chance to attract different markets, not just being the Venezuelan, because of those connections. Like I come with a friend that is not Venezuelan, then he got a croissant, then he tried a cachito, and now he likes the cachito. But they keep coming because they know that it's not just the cachito that they can get. They can get something else from the place. So that helps me a lot to get a different probably market that I wasn't trying to reach out at the beginning. Now I have it, and I don't push the cachito to them.
Okay.
I don't know if they want to like it or not. Some of them, when they ask for a recommendation for something savory, I would be like, yeah, you should try the cachito. And when they try, they go, okay, give me another one. It's just like crap to them. But it was never my point to trying to make the market that is not attaching the nostalgic like us to try to get a golfeado, a cachito, a tequeño. I was never trying to push it to, okay, you're coming for the first time, you have to get a cachito, you have to get a tequeño. Because you never know if they're going to like it. And I'd rather just get them eating a croissant that I've been trying to develop in my own way, trying to get them to eat a Queen Amman or an apple turnover. And then, okay, they will come the second time, they will come the third time. And then when they see someone eating a cachito, like, what's that? Okay, let me give you one now.
Nice.
So I try to get that approach instead of just, first time that you come, get a cachito. No,
Yeah.
I try not to do it that way.
And do you see, because in Venezuela we always think that arepas are gonna take the world, or we see tequeños
taking
I mean,
in Spain.
yeah, I mean, here you can see tequeños in any supermarket in Spain and everything. Do you think like tequeños, arepas, cachitos will eventually break into the mainstream and be part like and maybe we are biased because Miami is very Latin and we see cachitos often and tequeños everywhere. But let's think even like I don't know Chicago, Indianapolis. Anything. Do you see cachitos or tequeños breaking into like the mainstream?
I think Cachito could be a vehicle to get to that place, but I think the feeling is the one that's gonna decide it. I did this collaboration in New York as a pop up like 2 years ago, and they called my Cachito a hot pocket. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, it could be like a
Yeah, a bun also.
it could be like a hot pocket. And then I did a sing comes in LA. I did also a pop up in 2023, and they asked me like, hey, can you put jalapenos in it? Can you do something different? And I've been doing those kind of things. And when you start adapting your product to something else, you might be getting mainstream. You might be able to reach out different markets
without losing the essence of the product. There's an arepa place in Borough Market in London that sells arepas, and with all respect, they're doing amazing. But I mean, I go there and I think to myself, those are not arepas, no.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think as far as you don't lose the essence of the product, Cachito is a vehicle to do so many
to
so
put
many other
anything,
things.
even to put anything like sweet in it.
Exactly.
I wouldn't probably go that far. I would probably try to stick with like a 5 seeds flavor that they are like my own thing, and not to try to create that mainstream the product. But I know the product itself can become something like
Absolutely.
I won't say like a bigger than arepa, but I would say like a more sell than an arepa can have.
Absolutely. And what's next? What do you see, or where do you see Caracas Bakery growing in terms of portfolio of products or new locations, new markets, new cities?
This is also something that I haven't talked to anyone.
You don't need to share.
No. I'm happy to do it. I don't want to become like in every corner.
Okay.
I don't want to have 20 locations. That's not me. I don't want that stress on me. I'm already have all this white hair. I don't want to.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's the place that I want to go. I don't want to be every location like having 4 in Doral, having 20 in Miami. I don't want to become that person.
Okay.
I'd rather just have 3-4 solid locations that they're doing whatever they can do. And for me, it's more like a consistency because it's bakery, like a bread and those products, fermentation process. When you make more dough, it hits a little bigger on the mixer. So it's a lot of different things. So I'd rather just keep it small. So a little be like a smart with the place that I'm opening, not being so close to each other.
Okay.
And according to products, I might keep it as is. I wanna be able to come in 8 years to the bakery and have the same product. This is what I like to eat. Like I don't want to change it.
So there's a balance between like, even though it sounds cliche, like tradition and innovation, no? And how do you innovate but maintaining your DNA, your essence? No?
I had my years of testing. At the beginning, I was launching product that no one was taking care of, or no one was paying attention to it, and I got this menu that I have now. That I'm okay. This is working. I'm keeping it like this.
Okay.
I might do a special thing here and there.
Okay.
But they're not part of the menu unless people are every day coming and asking for it.
Okay.
But I want to just keep my menu as steady as possible, and if it's working, don't change it. You know.
Okay. Were you gonna reveal something?
So I'm gonna make the Doral and Coral they close around like 7 p.m. Biscayne is a different market. Biscayne close around 4. Biscayne Boulevard becomes like dead after 2 p.m.
Yeah.
And
too much traffic.
I know it gets kind of
hour.
crazy. And at the beginning, before opening, they called me crazy to open in Biscayne. And I was like, you know what? If it doesn't work out, that will be my commissary. And I was like, no, I'm gonna get all these people from Biscayne to stop by and get something. There's like 4,000 cars coming in and out.
So many
in rush hour.
neighborhoods around.
But that was my idea at the beginning. And then I saw that no one from that traffic was coming to the place. And I have us, okay, what am I doing here open until 6 p.m. No one's coming? And I thought about it. Like when you're in traffic going home, you don't want to stop anywhere. You just want to go home. You just want to get home. And that's why I decided to close the one in Biscayne a little bit earlier. And now I have that gap from like 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. To be able to do more things, like just a sandwich or just a croissant. So I'm going to have let's say like a tiny lunch menu.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to have let's just say, I'm going to have a burger. I'm going to have a grilled cheese sandwich with a tomato soup.
All right.
I'm going to have a salad that I love to make at home. And I'm going to make it here. So I'm going to have 4 items that I'm going to be able to offer from 11 to 4 p.m.
Amazing.
And very simple, no modifications in it. It is how it is. If you like it, if you don't like it.
We need to plan the launch of this episode with that launch.
So people already have it on the Instagram that it's going to happen. It's going to be a small amount. I'm going to be making that much just to have it and test it out. It's not even to bring more people, just to try to offer something more around that time. Like sometimes at that time I don't want to eat a toast.
Yeah.
Sometimes at 2 p.m. I just want to get a sandwich or a good salad with chicken.
Nice.
So I'm going to do 4 items. If they like it, take it. It's all out, it's all out.
That's cool. That's cool. And do you see yourself or the company expanding beyond Miami?
Yeah. I was doing it last year.
Okay.
I was going to New York. Probably like I did 14 trips to New York last year.
Wow.
Having meetings. And it's hard to find a location there. It's not. It's like in Miami. Price wise, it's almost the same as Miami. Miami is kind of expensive right now. So probably like 6 years ago, I would be like, nah, I'm never gonna be opening in New York. Like the rent is 5 times size more expensive than Miami. Nowadays, it's the same.
And you have foot traffic and
you have it, and I have a lot of New Yorkers that come to the Biscayne location. But at the beginning, I was like, no, this is not gonna make any sense. Nowadays, the rent is almost the same amount, and to me, it's been always a dream to open in New York. Like I love that city. I lived there for a while, and I have a special attachment to the city. And I would love to have a small shop in Doral, and Doral now in New York, and to be like how Doral was before.
Nice.
Doral at the beginning was just like, okay, I'm making 36 of each. If I sold out, I sold out. I close my door at 2 p.m., I'm out. So I want that location in New York to become that. Like I'm doing it with my own hands again. I'm getting my hands dirty. I'm making bread. I'm making sourdough. I'm making croissant. And when it's gone, it's gone. Yeah. That's it.
Any favorite bakeries in New York?
Yeah, of course. I can give you a specific item for each bakery. I like the 4F apartment. Okay. I like the croissant ham and cheese. They have rosemary in it. It gives a little good touch in it.
Okay.
I very like Livrae Bakery. The Jerusalem bagel is very good.
I love the pistachio croissant.
The pistachio croissant is actually very
insane.
good. I cannot eat the whole thing, but it's actually very good as well. I like Radio Bakery. She's a good friend. She's actually doing amazing work in the city. Her sandwiches are amazing. Her focaccia is good.
Invite her. Do a pop-up with her here.
We have a conversation in December. She came by with her mom to my place. She came like 2 times. We talk about it. She's opening a new location in I think it's Prospect Heights.
Okay.
After that happens, we might do a little collab in Miami.
So good.
I like from La Cabra, like the plain croissant. And the cardamom bun is also very good from them. And wow, there's another one that I'm missing out. The one that is in King Avenue. It's an Israeli one. I forgot that name. Oh, that one is in close to Wild. I don't remember now the name, but that one has an amazing focaccia.
No, I was thinking Supermoon.
No, Supermoon.
Yeah,
I've seen it before, but I know.
Yeah, very flashy, very like visually very appealing. They're doing some cool stuff, but yeah, as you mentioned, there's other places where I would go before going.
Yeah,
there.
Sourdough base. I don't see any bakery yet in New York that I feel like this is a good sourdough. I shouldn't even be coming to New York.
Wow.
I haven't seen it yet, like some sourdough that I actually feel like it's a good competition.
But I like in general. I mean, we've been traveling all over the U.S. and before it was like New York, Chicago, but now you go to every city, big and small, and you find at least like one person doing super cool things. I mean, being to like Columbus, Charleston, Charlotte, Nashville, you name it. There's this like spread of amazing people doing great things.
I was in upstate New York a couple of years ago, and I saw a small bakery. It was a new bakery. They just opened in that moment, and it was completely artisan. He was like making sourdough from scratch. He was making sourdough, and it's such a small town, and they were killing it there. Like that was the main bakery.
And how do you see Miami's scene? Because we all like witnessed like the when Zach came to the market, and it was like probably I don't know if the first, but like the first well-known bakery who were doing like a sourdough and nice breakfast. It felt like a community bakery. Now there's good options, people doing amazing things. How do you feel about that movement in Miami?
Just to make about your point that you made right now, I think it was Sad the Baker and it was True Love.
True Love, of
Thomas.
course. Thomas, amazing.
I think those are the two that create a validation that there's a market in Miami. And I took them as an example. Like, okay, if they're doing it, I think there's more space because I think every neighborhood should have a bakery.
Absolutely.
Not like right now what I have in Biscayne. I have like 4 bakeries around me. But I think that every neighborhood should have their own bakery, having like a commercial bread all the time. And I think they open the door for others to be able to do it. Like to me, that more bakeries are opening is just a validation that there is a market for it. And I think like there's market for everyone.
And the good thing also of these amazing bakeries opening up is like the bar is way higher now. Like if you want to open a bakery, I mean, this is the
standards. Yeah,
your standard for sourdough. This is your standard for a croissant. I remember many years ago, we did like a croissant tour with some Venezuelan friends. Cesar Gonzalez was there. Rey Sanfrioni.
Cesar Gonzalez is the one that came to the bakery in Doral that took a picture and then poof.
He has an amazing following, like millions of people. So we were doing a croissant tour. We went to Bashur. We went to one in Coral Gables. I don't remember the name. This is like 5 years ago or maybe more. We went like to 4 or 5 croissant bakeries. We took pictures. We sliced them in half, showed them and everything. And we were doing everything on like Instagram Live and doing stories and everything. And you know, Cesar is like super popular, no? And at the end, we went had lunch. Then we were to a food truck in Doral, and we were eating in the food truck. And the family came down, and they've been following us like all over the tour. And she was like, "Guys, are you still eating? Like I've seen everything that you've been eating all the whole day."
So if you do the same tour right now, you will have to go to 25 locations.
Exactly.
How many
that's where
bakeries
I was
there
going. Exactly. At the time was 4 and maybe 2 were very good. I like Antonio's croissant. He's doing amazing things as well. But yeah, now you have so many options for croissants, for sourdough.
And I think like even if you go to 25 locations to get the croissants, I think each location will have a distinctive flavor in it. Like they're not gonna be the same.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. Now, of course, you have going back to when you were saying that you opened first in Doral and then Mimo, Coral Gables, and hopefully some more, maybe not many more, but some more to come. It's very, every business that is customer facing, especially like a bakery, something that is so close to the heart, no? How's the feedback so far from people? Like, I'm sure you get great reviews, but you get maybe 1 or 2 bad.
It's all the time.
You cannot please everybody, no?
No, it's part of the game. And when I opened Doral, I opened it for fun, as I said before. Like I didn't know what was expecting from Doral. But opening Mimo was a necessity. Opening Mimo was the good feedback, but bad feedback at the same time. Like, I wanted to eat a cachito, but I wanted to sit down, you know? I wanted to be able to enjoy my coffee.
Yeah.
I wanted to...
And also, sorry for the interruption, but Doral was like a takeout counter.
It's still.
But your first actual sit-down restaurant with service and everything was Mimo, no?
It's Mimo. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Mimo was out of necessity. Because I have people in Doral, they were like, I wanted to sit down, I wanted to enjoy my coffee, I wanted to be able to have a chat with my friend, open my computer. You should have more items, you should have more things, you should have a sala. And that was always in my mind to have a place that I can offer breakfast. I'm a big breakfast person. Everything that you see in Biscayne, it was pretty much what I was making at home. I can also, like I said before about my bread, I can show you a picture of 10 years ago how I was practicing Japanese style eggs at my house. So it's something that I've been doing all the time. And Bimo, it was created by the necessity of having a place that I can, more than offer, is to show who I am. Like, this is what I eat, this is what I like. If you like it, just come and get it. Like, I'm very like a hypochondriac with the food. And I wanted to get like a high quality ingredients. I wanted to get good quality eggs, good quality ham, good quality cheese. Because at the end of the day, I will be eating there every time. So it's not like I want to offer crappy things and I'm like, no, I'm not eating it. Like, it's just for you guys. No, I wanted to have my own menu at home. I have a lot of help for creating recipes that is a little more complex or a little more like a commercial that I wasn't doing it myself at home. So it helps me out combined to the item that I was eating at my house, and it just created this menu that I have in Biscayne.
Okay, and how do you keep or stay grounded? I mean, and I congratulate you. Like, you're enjoying like a good momentum. Like, you're very popular. I'm sure people probably stop you in the street like, hey, I love your food and everything.
In my building. I have customers in my building.
But also you get, you're out there, you get good reviews, maybe one bad review or something. But how you stay grounded, balancing that momentum, that hype, and keep your feet on the ground in terms of like you still need to grow, run a business, keep quality, maintain customers happy.
Yeah. In that part, I don't care that much about my ego based on the place. I love when people come to the bakery and they don't even know that I'm the owner. They will treat me like a regular baker at the place. I still love to have that feeling. I don't like to have that presence that people, when they come to their place, are, okay, that's the owner.
Okay.
I don't like to have that. I serve table, I clean tables. If I have to put like a pasta mud, I will do it. Things like that, and serving people, it keeps you always grounded. When you start doing that part and you feel that you are bigger and you start doing those things, then your mindset goes a little bit like fucked up in the head.
Yeah.
I don't. I still, even you are eating at the place and sometimes I come to you and I clean your table. Like, even you being there, I will just like, do you finish that? Let me just clean it up for you. Those kind of things keep me humble because at the end of the day, that's what I love to do. I love to serve people. That's my way to show love to others.
Yeah, and I tell this a lot to fellow chefs, friends who are chefs. Like, when chefs grow or they start having, like, owning multiple restaurants, they end up being more like business people, restaurant owners, and less chefs. And sometimes they lose that space, like in the line or service, and you have the risk of detaching from that feeling. No,
I'm detached from the bakery part, from making bread.
Okay,
I get to the line sometimes just to practice. Hey, bro, you guys are making this in the wrong way. Just let's do it in this way.
Which is makes sort of sense to grow the business.
Yeah, I love to do the part here and there, just to getting in the dough, my hands again. In the serving part, I don't take myself out of it. I'm always at the bakery when I see something at the table that I don't like. When I see a table that is full of things, I go myself and clean it up.
Okay.
It's not like I saying somebody, can you go and clean it yourself? No, I'm trying to help as well. They actually, sometimes the front of the house, when they see me doing that, they're trying to reach the cut from me or the plate. But I still love to do it. Be there, seeing how people are reacting when they clean the table very fast. Always trying to improve the timing of the kitchen, see how long it's taking the dishes, installing new things. So those things keep me always on the business.
Yeah.
It's actually true. Like, when you start growing, you just have to start paying attention to other things that you weren't paying attention before. That's the boring part of it.
And how was that personal evolution? Because you were working as a graphic designer in an agency, which is super creative. Then you were baking and doing bread and everything. But now you are managing 3 locations. You're managing a business with employees. Like, now you're learning accounting, taxes,
and people
legal,
for all those departments.
Yeah, managing people, keeping a cost structure tight. How was that learning process?
I'm still learning.
Okay.
I'm still learning a lot about owning a business, owning a restaurant, and it's not the fun part. I think It's fun when you're having a small place that you're running everything yourself. You know everything. You know the person that's giving you the ham. You know the person that is giving you the malta. Like when you start getting bigger, you start losing out. Like, who's that guy? Who is this person? Like, who? When did they hire this guy? So I lost a little bit that feeling, that small thing that everything is super easy to control. Right now, is harder to control.
Yeah.
But that happens when you're growing. Like that's part of the thing. I don't do it for that reason, but it comes with the game. Like,
you have to let go. You're not gonna personally make every single cachito that comes out of the oven. You have to trust the team.
Yeah, it took me 2 years to let go of the sourdough.
Yeah.
Before, when I was making the sourdough just in Doral during the weekend, if I wasn't going to the bakery, there's no sourdough.
Wow.
It was just myself. And then I was like, my dad was like, Jesus, you cannot limit the people because you don't want to come or you're hangover or whatever.
Yeah, no,
you cannot limit the people not to have sourdough because you are not here. You have to let it go.
Yeah.
You have to teach them. And I ended up doing it. It was super hard at the beginning, seeing someone else making what it actually inspired me to open a place.
Yeah.
And seeing them making it without me, I was like, I don't want them to have sourdough. And then they start making it in a good way. I was like, you know what? Go for it. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
And talking about the negative reviews and all that, the best advice that I can give to others is not to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to it. I'm doing my own thing. Because if they're giving me a bad feedback or a bad review, sometimes I read it. Sometimes I'm drinking a scotch at my house and I will just open my phone and see the reviews here and there, not all the time.
And some of them might be constructive.
If I see a review and they give me 1 star, and they give me 1 star because, okay, I tried your croissant, it's too dry, it was too small, the flavor is not there, it's too salty, it's too sweet, I will be like, this guy had it. I had to fix my croissant.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I'm reading the feedback, and there's like there's no parking, 1 star.
Yeah.
Or everything was amazing, but I saw a dirty napkin on the floor, 1 star. So when you start seeing those reviews, you're like, what's the reason why I have to be reading this? Because it's not giving me any feedback for me to change
improve,
something, to improve my business.
Yeah.
It's just like let's say people you saying it's haters, which is completely fine. I'm okay if I have 1,000 bad reviews or 1,000 good reviews. I still doing my own thing. I'm not trying to sound arrogant about it. It's just like this is who I am. This is what I'm making. If you like it, just come back. If you don't like it, you don't have to come back.
Yeah.
There's 25 more locations that you can bakery that you can go. I know for a fact that I'm doing whatever is actually for the best for my business, the best for me, the best for my family, and I know the ingredient I'm using. I'm not selling myself out to use a cheap product, making things smaller now. I'm still doing the same shit. I don't change pricing. My pricing is still probably the same for the last 2 years.
Okay.
Even
with very the hard. Egg thing.
It's very hard because my accountant was like, "Jesús, you have to raise the price of the eggs." And I was like, yeah, but what about when the eggs comes back to normal?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my price in 24 for a dish.
Exactly.
Like, then how can I go back again? Like, let's just keep it like that. Let's eat it out now.
Wait.
Yeah. We've been just eating it out, but eventually it's gonna level up.
Yeah.
And sometimes I see reviews like, I don't want to go anymore because they have a cachito for $9. And someone that it was me replied to them like, where do you think a cachito for $9? It's $5. So things like that happen. So that's why I don't care that much about reviews. I'm very happy to the one that they are 5-star or 4-star because they take the time to write something about it. So even if they are giving me that review of everything that they experienced during the place and they give me 2-star or 3-star, I will appreciate it. But I just don't care when the people say like 1-star, there's no parking.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Okay, cool.
It's not constructive either.
Yeah.
And talking about Miami, like how do you think, like you lived in New York and you've been in Miami many years. We talked about the bakery business, like how there's some new amazing bakeries opening everywhere. In general, in Miami as a food city, like, do you think it's a bubble? Do you see it still growing? What are your like favorite places to go to?
So I would say like depend on the market. Miami definitely is a bubble right now to me. For real estate, for stores, for hospitality, for restaurant, it's huge. Like everyone
so
wants
to
to have something, wants to do something in Miami. How many of them are gonna stay?
Mm.
That's the question. Like I think not that many are gonna stay after like 5 years.
Yeah.
They want to be here right now because it's the momentum. A lot of people from LA from the fires, New York for the COVID situation. A lot of people they move to Miami, and there's a bigger crowd in the city now. So a lot of restaurants they see an opportunity and they come and open something.
Yes.
I think it's good for the city. For the locals, are gonna make it probably a little more expensive, more things.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a reservation anywhere. I haven't been in Boyade, Lucci. I haven't been in Boyade like 2 years because it's so hard to get a reservation.
But I give you, well, I shouldn't say it out loud because everybody will do, but what I've done with Boyade is like I go, of course, it's not ideal, but I go like super early, like when
It's
they
hard,
open
man.
and sit at the counter at the bar and
Yeah.
you can get, but again, how many times you can go or you want to go at 5 p.m.?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the issue. And sometimes like I'm craving it when I see the post in picture on Instagram. And then I want to go, but let me see. There's no reservation.
Yeah.
So those issues are happening now, and like 7 years ago, that wasn't happening.
No.
You can get to amazing restaurants. You can go to Mandolin, Michael's Genuine. You can go to all these
Anytime,
places.
yeah.
And anytime, like the place was packed, but at the same time, you have a space to see yourself out.
Yeah.
Right now, it's very hard to be able to.
Yeah, but also
to
I
go to
think
restaurant.
you can benefit from this restaurant boom because I understand you also do B2B, like you sell bread or bakery items to some restaurants. So you
I'm trying to keep it small, but yeah.
Okay, but you do some B2B business.
Yeah.
Is that like something you want to grow? Like, do you see
No.
yourself having like a production facility just for that?
No, I actually don't like the wholesale business. I'm doing it just because of a mental goal.
Okay.
I've been a Soho member for like 7 years, something like that. And I was always thinking like eventually I will be able to have my bread here. I'm gonna have
Okay.
my products here. So that's one of my main clients. Also Pastries, which
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Keith Manelli. I've been
Yeah.
following him for like 10 years on Instagram. He's a persona. And he's a big character. And having the chance to meet him during the meetings before opening Pastries, seeing him like liking my bread and having sat the baker, which I also love,
Yeah.
right in front, and he decided, no, I want this guy's bread.
Nice.
Those kind of things, like that's what I have. Those kind of clients as a wholesale, because it's giving me a validation that what I'm doing is still in the right way.
Okay.
But I don't want to get into the wholesale business.
And do you see, I mean, and this can change in the future, but do you see yourself like in supermarket aisle, like prepackaged
No,
bread? Or,
I think because my product is meant to get rotten in 3 days. I'm not
you
making
have to reformulate to make it shelf stable.
and I have
all
to
that.
add things that I don't want to add to my product. So everything that you eat at the bakery right now is being made tomorrow. So sorry, everything that you're eating today, it was made yesterday.
Okay.
So we don't do any like in advance. We don't make 2 days in advance, 3 days in advance. We don't do it. We actually have a team that comes Tuesday to Saturday so they can get production for Sunday.
Okay.
So we don't make production past 2 days. Also, we're using ham, we're using cheese, we're using product that if you keep it longer, you don't know how they react in the oven or with the dough. So my products are always fresh.
Okay.
So at the moment that I have to make my product to have a shelf life of, I don't know, a week, even my bread, first of all, I won't eat it. Because I know that I have to add a few things on the bread that it's not going to be able to. Cachitos, they might. Because Cachitos, I've been doing testing, frozen.
Okay.
So I've been eating cachitos a week old, 2 weeks old. So that's something that I might study
Frozen
in
and
the future.
reheated.
Frozen and reheated.
Okay.
But not a huge shelf life. The only thing that it helps me is it's frozen.
So that's a good tip if people want to buy cachitos, take them, like if they're traveling in Miami and they want to take cachitos back home to wherever they live, they can freeze them and reheat them.
That's something that I've been thinking about, even for ourselves, for even to sell it in our stores.
Yeah.
For people that want to grab cachitos, sometimes when I don't have cachitos at 2 p.m., I don't bake more cachitos because I don't know who's going to come. But then I have after 2 p.m., a lot of people coming for cachito for next day for the kids, for the morning, and I don't have. So I want to have that frozen option for them
Good
just
idea.
take it home.
That's a good idea. Nice. Any closing remarks? Anything that you want to add?
So we were talking
share?
about Miami.
Yes.
As we say, like Miami is a bubble right now. I think it's going to the right direction. I think there's still an issue with Miami, which when I was living in New York, everyone that was moving to New York wanted to become a New Yorker. They wanted to be part of the city. They wanted to be feel like the city, dress like the people from the city. I think Miami still have that issue that I'm coming from Venezuela, I'm gonna just be in Doral. I'm coming from Colombia, I just want to be in Kendall. I'm
Yeah.
coming from Russia, I'm just going to be in Sunny Isles. I think like those things after COVID have been changing a little bit. And that's
Okay.
going to be good for the city. I think
Nice.
that for me is the biggest thing that it happened with COVID is a lot of people wants to become Miami.
Nice.
So that's going to help a lot the city. Even though there's a bubble going around, that thought that people were before, like my own people, my own crowd, like they don't want to meet, they don't want to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
That has changed a little bit with COVID and with a lot of different people that came to,
Nice.
to the city. So I think to me, that's the most important thing that's going to happen in the city in the next probably 5 or 10 years.
Interesting. We've been talking about your shops and everything. Where can people find you now?
I have a location in Coral Gables. I have a location in Biscayne Boulevard, and I have a location in Doral. We're also in Instagram. It's caracas.bakery.com. I don't post that much, but it's there. I will always post the stories on the place. But I will be a little more aware of the social media. I'm going to start a little more social, a little more connected. But it's coming.
No, thanks for
No, man,
your
this is
time. I
cool.
know you're super busy these days. Thanks everybody for joining us. Remember to follow us on Instagram at one of each podcast. Sorry, we are in all platforms, so you can listen to this episode, past episodes, and hopefully future episodes. So like us, subscribe. We have the YouTube channel also. And again, thanks a lot for your time, and hope to see you in our next episode.
Thank you,
One of
guys.
each. Thank you.